a week for this meeting. I think hopefully we have everything in. We don't have to come back. And if I forget, wish everybody a Merry Christmas, great holidays, Happy New Year. That I don't know that we have a whole lot to do. I think Tom's going to give a report when we get down to economic development, but ordinances. Just so you know, we had to change what was originally ordinance 6122 to 6422. I forgot to ask you that. Well, I need to do that, two additions in council. She resent the agenda yesterday.
Well, we've never had a reading.
We've never had a reading.
No, you're fine.
Okay. So we changed that one. It'll be 6422. And we only have the two that Sherry submitted that needed to be passed emergency, and that's they need to be passed tonight. 6222 and 6322. Those need to be passed. We have any other ordinances that are going to be upcoming, Mayor? You can proceed because we don't meet again until January the 9th, I believe.
I think we're good. We should be good till then.
In the January meeting, if passes legal review, the purchase of the lot by the water plant, that'll be coming up for Max, authorization to sign that. Potentially a ordinance too, maybe for some of the grants coming up. I'll know more about that in the next week or so, but as soon as I know, I will get them to Amy so she can get them on the schedule for the January meeting.
Do all those. Okay. Sherry, you'll just have your normal stuff, I would imagine.
Hopefully at the first meeting, I won't have anything for a while, but
That'd be a first.
I know.
Okay. So if nobody has anything else with ordinances? Okay. We got Sherry's auditor's report. Any additions or anything that we need to do with that?
Just
make
approve in the minutes.
in the minutes. That. Property maintenance. How we doing on the church? According to the article in the paper, says it's going to be
It will be our Christmas miracle.
Christmas miracle.
We didn't say what, I don't think they said what's Christmas. No, it will be,
Well, your 7 days turned into what, 21?
it's government. It's government. It takes a little longer. I think, I can report that Fifth Street is open, and Walnut will. I was hoping today, maybe they were crawling on the roof. I want them to get it sheeted because if a 4x8 sheet of plywood goes through someone's windshield, then we're not going to be happy that the road is open. So for safety purposes, and I want it open just as bad as anyone else. So we will. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't say that.
Yes,
Okay,
I
we
Give them
will.
a deadline. It's been 7 months.
That's right. I think by the end of the week, if it's not done, we're moving your shit. Excuse my French. We're moving your stuff and I mean, we gotta stop this, it's ridiculous.
Well, they said September and then they said Halloween.
Yeah,
I think part of
now
the
here
problem
we
is they
go.
either don't have a crane or they don't have a crane operator. Well, go out this road and get a crane and get it done.
Right.
The
I just still get people concerned about the safety of downtown with emergency vehicles and especially semis.
great.
Then I have another question about Mulberry Street. Mulberry Street and Fifth, that tree that's about to fall on everybody's car.
Yeah, we.
Is that something that we can get a hold of?
You can
the-
meet with the tree commission.
That's what I
on
mean,
that.
the tree
Yeah.
commission,
Yeah.
would that be something that they could take care of?
Yeah, and I know reading the notes of the tree commission that they've been out and talked to the property owners and the property owners like that tree, so they don't want it taken down. So if you want to meet with the tree commission, I'm sure they will be glad to meet with you. So something that I will not get in the middle of, a tree in the tree commission.
But that tree is our responsibility, right?
Yes.
I had to stop like, sometime in November, that we pretty much spent on.
Yeah, I'm just.
No, and we
kinda
can, I
curious.
mean, yeah, I would meet, I mean, it's been talked about, so.
I'll talk to Tom Heading tomorrow.
And she's got that on the list. as soon as the new
Yeah,
year's
it
budget
is.
comes up.
As far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't mind seeing it go.
Oh,
So.
yeah, I mean, it's a huge tree and I think it's just,
Well,
eventually it's gonna fall.
It's
It's-
dangerous. and
eventually it's
going to
gonna fall.
On the railroad track.
Yeah.
There's one there at that house that we can't seem to do anything with, the bank and, that south lawn.
Mhm.
There's a dead one right there too, that needs taken out. I'm sure we got others, but those are
Who funds the tree commission? I mean,
No one.
nobody funds it?
They do work off some grants. They've gotten some grants from the Coshocton Foundation in the
Usually that
past.
goes to planting trees.
Yeah, planning or tree
But
study.
not tree removal.
No,
So why do we need to talk to the tree commission about tree removal then?
if I go chop it down with my orders, then it's why did you
Right.
have that chopped down? So, I like to get their blessing.
Okay,
Sometimes, I mean, to me, it is a danger.
Like I said, I work
It's a
with Tom,
safety,
so
yeah.
I'll talk to
Okay.
him.
They're probably,
tomorrow.
or
So just
make
the
them
right thing
aware
to
of it.
do.
Yeah, just kind
Okay.
of put it in the reader and,
Right.
yeah.
okay.
Sure.
I was just gonna ask, only because I run by a certain area all the time, and so you brought this up about trees. So it's perfect timing. Is, like, if there's a situation like that, do we have anything in, our ordinance or property code that, say, if an owner, even if it's not on the tree lawn, but it's real close, if they've been issued a warning, hey, you need to do something with your tree, it's dangerous, it's gonna fall into the street, that
Dangerous,
if they've
really.
been given,
It's
well,
Property.
okay, but if they've been given notice and they fail to do anything with that, but then the tree does fall, like there was one on Cambridge Road, then the city, and it clearly was not in a tree lawn,
No.
it was up on a hillside, but then the city, we bared the cost and the employees to clean it up.
Right.
So as I'm running by this one, several times a week, I know this tree, they've already had one fall into the street and we've cleaned it up. There's another one, there's not a tree lawn because there's not sidewalks in this area. And I'm just waiting for the day that this tree is gonna fall down, and here again, we are going to clean it up. So is there anything that we can do that, start to send letters from even here from City Hall? You have this dangerous tree, it must be removed. If not, just put them on warning of some sort. I don't know how the legality of it is, but then if it does fall, that if we do have to come out in the middle of the night to clean it up, they're gonna get billed for it, or it's gonna be assessed to their property, the cost to clean it up.
Well, we could certainly pass an ordinance that says that.
I didn't know if there was, if that language was already kind of touched on in property code, or it's because I see a lot of them, and just a situation like this where it's gonna fall and we're gonna be the ones to clean it
I
up.
think that came up, the big storm we had, is if we could put that on the tax bill, on property taxes. It's something that has to be,
I don't
Spelled out
believe
by
that we currently
ordinance.
have an ordinance that authorizes us to charge property owners for cleanup of a tree that is clearly their responsibility. So if that's something you're interested in, then we can explore that in January.
well, it's like, I mean, the tree could fall over. Your car in the driveway could crash into another car. So am I gonna send out letters and tell people that your car could hit someone and you're gonna get cited if it does? I mean,
Well,
that's-
I'm thinking if the tree commission clearly states and sees that,
This is a
this
dead
tree,
tree you're
this is a dead tree,
Yeah, right.
and send them notification. I'm,
Right,
yeah,
but
I think
by
that's a
law,
stretch what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
By
I
law,
have no problem with drafting an ordinance that allows us to go after the cost of cleanup. I am very hesitant for the city to be sending letters saying we've identified a dangerous tree that could be a danger to our citizens.
Okay.
Because if something happens,
that
you
we're
come back,
liable.
they're gonna come after the city.
Right.
Does the tree commission have a study of potential
They,
problem trees? in the
so
community?
everything is inventoried. I know at one point, I think their inventory is a little out of date now. It's, what is it? $4,000 or something to inventory. I think that's what the foundation paid for. It's called the Davy Tree Inventory, I believe, and they went out and identified like I mean, that's
I
why I'm
remember
saying,
that.
like,
It
if you
probably
talk
hadn't
to
been
them,
updated.
right, it need, well, the funding is not there, and it's, you know, to me, it's been, I hate to call it an unfunded mandate, but it kind of is, because you have identified the problems, but where are you gonna get the money to go out and take care of all the trees? And then we've actually, probably the last 2 years have addressed a lot of problem trees. I'm not gonna say, yeah, I'm not, right. And what it is, it's not that anyone here hates trees, but we do hate overtime. You know, when you have a storm, it's gonna knock the power out. If you know the trees are there, we've tried to address the worst trees first, and like the last storm took out a lot. What maple trees I think are 50-year trees. So I mean, they're probably 100. A lot of the maples are 100 years old. So we have cleaned up a lot, and if it's something, that's where I think seeing what the tree commission needs, like if you want to fund another study, we can do it, or Roger can just, instead of walking where he typically walks, he can just walk down different streets every day and mark it with a can of spray paint. But there is
Someone
a
should.
study, that, and we have made headway. I know the last big storm we had crews out for 36 hours probably. And it was most definitely, people got to where they need to go, but there were a lot of trees, and there's still a lot more trees that are.
So when we take a tree out, is the tree commission aware of that? So then they go to their study and take that tree off of their list?
I believe.
So they should
that's
have
how-
a pretty updated list if they're doing
So
that.
Angie Williamson at Public Works has become more involved, because that's who usually typically takes a tree down. So she meets with them. Like I said, they meet on a monthly basis, and she meets with them and says, here's, and then if they have an issue, really identifying the worst and getting the worst first is what we've done. So it's the cost is the biggest thing. And there's a lot of trees that you'll see that shouldn't have been planted where they were planted. There was a sycamore, I believe, on South 9th that basically when it grew, I mean, the tree lawn, the tree was double as wide as a tree lawn. And it's like, why, you know, but that's a lot of what the tree commission does is, you know, 7th Street, they planted trees on the tree lawn, but they're planting things that aren't going to decimate the sidewalks and cause, you know, because we do need trees. The benefit is great, but the safety issue with dead trees.
So any tree that's close enough to the edge of pavement to be within our right of way, whether there's a sidewalk or not, is that tree our responsibility? If it's in the right of way?
Yes. And that was changed with the formation of the tree commission. And to my knowledge, the tree commission was formed as part of American Bloom regulations. And I'm not sure, probably 10 years ago, I believe, 5 to 10 years ago. So it's kind of how it came about. It's a great thing. If we had the funding to like take care of it all, it'd be even greater, but it is what it is. And we're trying our best with what we have.
Anybody else have anything?
Mayor, just from my notice, we're supposed to have 40 and 50-mile-an-hour winds this weekend, assuming that those planks are still down on Walnut, or is that where they're out? They're on Walnut Street? The sheets of wood,
Plywood. Yeah.
are they tied together or are they?
No, I mean, everything as a whole is good. but you don't really want people throwing 4x8 sheets of plywood up on a roof when cars are going directly under, because if shingles are another story, shingles will just fall. A
I
sheet
guess
of
my
plywood
concern
is,
is that if the plywood isn't parked together, is this 50-mile-an-hour wind gonna take those sheets of wood and send them off like frisbee?
I
hope
I
not.
am not a construction expert, and thanks for jinxing us. So, are you gonna be available to take a call when they blow off there?
If you get it all nailed down, it won't be an issue.
That's right.
So they got
Right,
3 days.
that's
Anything
why
for the infrastructure, utilities director?
I think it'll be okay.
Where we at on the fire hydrants?
I think we got 3 left on the original, we haven't looked at on the ones.
Good.
We have the major ones that are out of service, a lot of them are dig ups, which.
Yeah, we got it
Dave
now,
and Chris
yeah,
and I
we
talked
started
about
that list, but the original list, we've got through all the ones, except I think 3 we're looking at this week, and then we'll start looking at the dig ups. I've talked to Rusty, a couple of critical ones we'd like dug up first. These ones we think we can dig up without installing a valve, so that'll be our next plan, we'll get those. And we'll still want to keep the guys on and start looking at the 2 and 3 issues as well.
Good headway.
Good.
I think we're making good headway.
They've done well. Chris Arnold, and
Nice.
he had one of the part timers with him, which his name is.
Zach one,
They've done a great job.
I think we returned what, 21 back to service?
Yeah. something like that.
It's good.
Good
Yeah,
job.
we don't lose.
Yep.
Anything we choose to three on the priority list, not gonna take long.
Great.
Anybody else? Any other questions?
Yeah. I haven't gone down North Sixth the last few days. Where are we on fixing that leak?
We've got that leak fixed.
Okay, and the one that, I know the other one's fixed, so.
Yeah, we actually had to go back to the main because the pipe is in such poor condition. Instead of taking out 2 feet, we had to replace about 25 feet of it. It's just, you touch it and it falls apart, so.
You're looking into replacing that?
Yeah, that line feeds we think 3 to 5 houses on that little bit of cemetery. You know, as Mary said, the right way, if you run a 6-inch down from 8 all the way there, but that's probably $100,000 job. So we're looking at maybe putting some 2-inch plastic, and that's what we normally run, is plastic, 2-inch PVC. And see if we can get it that way, because we're gonna be back in it again. Since I've been in it 2 years, we've been there 3 times already. It's just that the old galvanized pipe is the end of its service life.
Yeah, you can look up cemetery and see the squares in the road. It's like,
Thanks, Dave.
The insurance situation, Joe, you guys were working on that, weren't you?
we took an increase, but we are on a 24/12 instead of a 15/12. I hate to say you're gonna pay either way. I look at it as we got a pretty good deal. We are going to switch pharmacy benefits, and the potential's around $70,000 a year for 2 years without any formulary change for any employee. So
Did it go up because of stop loss or?
it went up because the past couple of years history is what, because stop loss history, just history past couple of years.
Not that I need more meetings, but I think I am on that committee, so I'd like to sit in on those next time. So I hear what's
Have you
going on.
received the SBCs yet? Because we got to get those out to the employees before month end.
They are, today I signed benefits or the pharmacy paperwork, so it should be,
So I have to get
nothing
that
should
and
be
the
held up.
deduction Information to the employees and back. before-
They should, I'll email them tomorrow and see where they're at with it.
So how does your premium rates? Do they stay the same?
Don't have a COBRA rate yet. That
Yeah,
would
we
be
don't
soon
have
done.
COBRA
We don't have it
rates.
yet.
As far as
Still waiting
employee
for some-
contribution, it will be going up.
It's always 15% of the current year COBRA rates. And we don't have those yet. They're waiting for that final piece to hit.
Oh, safety services, where you at with the stop signs on, by Sacred Heart?
I have, Park and Walnut, I believe they put they're using posts that were there. That should be happening this week, should be. There and as well as, Fourth and Walnut will be kind of the same time. I know today they were setting Fourth and Walnut, they're doing breakaway post on all four of those, I believe. And then they're using, just the regular green post up here.
I was
So that
thinking
should
about
be
that. Is there any way that we could maybe post a warning sign or something for people? who
They'll
aren't-
do a traffic pattern change. They have signs
Okay.
that do, hopefully I have enough
There'll still be
traffic
people
pattern
running.
change signs, yeah. I will mention too, Seventh and Walnut has a no left turn sign. But I'm going, and I've talked to the sheriff's office about this. My Christmas gift is to allow free passes till we get Walnut Street open, because I believe a lot of people are using Main and turning left on Walnut. From what I saw in about 15 minutes the other day, I saw about 20 people turn left there with the sign up. So it's something that's going to have to be
Right.
don't do that anymore. So.
I didn't know it was
When did
there
the sign
until
go
Hilgy
back up?
told me.
It's the end of last week. It says no left turn, very,
Left turns.
very clear on the left. I may put an arrow with the,
Is that like Wednesday or Thursday, I think?
yeah, I think Thursday. I think Wednesday it went up. It's right on the right-hand side of the
Yeah,
crosswalk.
that's what I'm concerned about, Park Street and Walnut. People, especially kids crossing right there. It's
Are
people
we
used
putting
to.
the flashing signs like we have at 16th?
Yes, so.
So those a little easier to see if you're not looking for a no
Walnut,
left turn
yeah,
sign.
Walnut, so Walnut will, and Park will have, I believe, flashers, stop signs on Walnut Street, eastbound and westbound. And then I don't know about Park because it's been a stop. I think there's a stop sign there now. So I believe those will flash, and then eastbound, westbound Walnut at Fourth will have flashing, and then Fourth will have regular stop signs. So, and most definitely I'll try to get, I believe we have signs that are warning signs that say traffic pattern change ahead. So those will be put out if I have them. I think we do.
We'll do PSA too.
Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
I guess I have something under safety services that was brought up to me again. So I told him I would bring it up. I think he called City Hall. I don't know who he talked to a while back. Last spring, driving up Main Street, and there was a banner hung across Main Street that the city employees had hung. The wind caught it, blew it down, and hit this gentleman's car. And the grommets put holes in his car and damaged his mirror. I mean, it's not like a little dent in the car. And I guess he was told that the city's not responsible for that. So I don't know what.
I
The
believe
actual-
the ladder truck actually hit the same line. And the individual called City Hall and was forwarded to our insurance company. So we said we weren't paying it. It was through our insurance company that said they weren't paying it. So it has nothing to do, it's not city property. The city might have helped hang banners on it, but I don't know if does that hold us legally responsible if we help someone then.
I'm sure the insurance company said it was an act of God and therefore they're not responsible.
Right, and that's what, it was during a storm.
If it had
And
been my car, I would have been highly upset at God and the city.
Mayor's even back up after the.
no, it's not back up.
They pulled the grommets clear out of the salvage building.
Is it really?
Yeah, so that was, I mean.
No, he had holes in the side of his car, and it's a Lexus. So
Yeah, I mean, and that's how we handle any situation.
I'll ask him if he heard from the insurance company.
But yeah, I believe that my assistant talked to him and he was forwarded to the insurance company. So actually, I'd like to know because that's, I mean, protocol.
All right.
Parks and Recreation? Anything?
I forgot to bring up my list. Randy and I worked on a winter time list of all the things we're gonna try to accomplish at each park. It's the guys are gonna work through the.
How many people are still working for the parks?
We got, half cup. Stick. Dan Bruno, he's in there work 2 days a week.
4 total.
All, what's the boys,
Jimmy McCall?
Mac,
all-
yeah.
Mac, and Randy, that's it. Each part's got different things that we're working on.
What are some things that they do in the winter?
Huh?
What are some things that they do in the
Well,
winter?
Fix equipment is a big, I mean,
Yeah,
do all,
equipment right for
yeah,
next year,
blades,
obviously.
tires.
Oh, so
oil
they work on the
changes,
mowers and
belts,
stuff?
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
know
but
they're
they're-
doing the restrooms at the Hind Ball. Putting a new, on-demand water heater, water heater.
working on they put some grindings down in the parking area.
Took the goalpost down, took the backstop out.
There's no, some
Redone
people
the
were,
parking lot, huh?
people approached us and said, I know a couple council members said we had no idea what they were doing. That's why I asked. So I think we just needed to know.
Yeah, we can
I
get a
got an
list of
extensive
what they're,
list, I
yeah.
mean.
No, I believe, I just thought I'd ask and get it on record because a couple people had a couple council members cornered.
After the first
I think
year,
they were
that
kind of
next
rude
year,
about it.
Come through,
Wish they said something to me.
well, I'll be cutting that sod up there at All Park and then
Okay.
put that rubber in before spring.
I know there's all kind of things to be done. The equipment gets crap that ran out of it. Tom, grants and economic development?
Yes, I met with the Port Authority Executive Director this morning and just give you the Reader's Digest condensed version. Today, she was actually having a site visit at the AEP property in Conesville, and I think Mr. K Drive was involved in that as well. Wednesday of this week, she's going to be showing 2 buildings to Columbus Plastics Company. One of those is actually at the AEP site, but one is here in town down by Stewart Field. And I think he was wanting to be in town, so hopefully that goes well. She's putting the finishing touches on her annual report, which she will bring up to City Hall when that's finished. She's also looking at 2 sites to apply for some abandoned gas station cleanup grants. She talked about the Pittsburgh to Columbus corridor. They're going to try to convince the state to release some of their American Rescue funds to help with that feasibility study.
Is SPP involved in helping us with the 4-lane?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the other thing she mentioned, that her hotel and housing feasibility studies should be ready soon, so. And she'll fill everybody else in when she comes to our meeting.
I'll add to that. I got email notification over the weekend. There's a couple different programs, so I don't want to misspeak, but I'm good at it, so I'm going to do it anyways. Columbus Glove Factory, which would be 5th Street. We had an application in for demo. There's a couple different programs. That's why I'm saying one of them we did not get awarded, but I believe we are still in the queue for the other demo grant, or 2 separate ones going on at the same time. So I'm hopeful we receive something, because just like the people on South 4th Street, I'm sick of looking at that too, as well as the Edmont property, which is now listed on the market. It could be yours for the low price of $100,000. So kind of what happens when you start putting pressure on people, then it just gets dumped to the next one. So happy to meet the new owners of that property as well at the 1300 Walnut Street. So we're going to continue to work and seek funding, and hopefully we get awarded. I have been in contact with SPP on demo and certain things and why we didn't get awarded that as well. So they'll be talking to the Department of Development and working to see what we need to do to receive that funding.
I think she said something about the Edmont. That if, before it could be torn down, there has to be another EPA study done on the site.
Yeah, I think it's phase 2's been done. I think it needs a phase 3. So it's a jump rope with bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So it's what it is. If you want to receive funding, I'm excited to have everything done, so maybe we can get the funding and tear it down.
Keep on going. It's your turn.
Okay. I'm happy to report that the price, and I waited so I could see Roger's face in person. The price for trash, I got it today. On a 3-year extension, we were paying $18.35 a month. Well, I'm happy to report we're only going to pay 24 cents a month more per house in Coshocton. So total cost is $18.59 for the next 3 years. So that's my Christmas gift to everyone.
They still want to do the
Yeah.
recycling.
Yeah, everything stays exactly the same. The increase came from
That's great.
from solid waste fees. The fees went up, so it's like per ton, certain amount per ton.
So when will we act on that?
I believe it expires in March, so I
March
will need,
31st.
yeah, so we'll need an ordinance to let Max sign.
The
and-
Sooner the better, so you don't change your mind.
That's what Yeah, right. I had to look at it about 4 times and I said, okay,
Read
so,
the small print.
So,
yeah,
I was
they
looking,
didn't send me all.
I was
of
looking
them.
at that contract. So did we give them a map of where we could request smaller trucks?
I'm not sure how. It
It
was-
said it, because in the
In the
contract, it
contract.
says that they'll use smaller trucks if they're provided a map.
We can do that. I'll do that when I see it. but-
Right.
I just remember with the discussion, I don't know, if Max or somebody was supposed to ride around with them and actually show them where we wanted them to use a small truck.
I mean, every alley needs a small. truck.
We need to enforce them.
I don't have to ride one. but-
I thought our current billing rate for trash was $16.64 a month.
So the numbers, that's the numbers they provided me with an email.
What we're billing right now is $16.64.
So we losing $2 a month? Is that what you're telling me?
All I'm telling you
They
is we're
are.
billing $16.64 a month right now.
I'll look and see what, you say 1664. I will email them tomorrow and see what,
Is it in the contract?
yeah, it's in,
I
the-
can run down the
Yeah.
contract.
it's in, the-
We're going up $1.95 if that's the case, but that's better than $7 or $8.
Yeah.
right. I would assume we would be in the $25 range if we rebid it. At least. What's good about our contract, there's no fuel. And another positive in that contract is we have an out and they don't. So,
Any other changes to the possible to the addendum? Because right now, when I read that contract, we pay them on what we bill versus what we collect. Like, pros, see if you can get that changed. Because for example, if somebody doesn't pay their water bill,
right, then we
We're
don't,
still
right.
paying them, but
Well,
we're
and
not
then
paying
give me
them.
the number of what that is. And I'll definitely, I don't know how we're gonna, I mean, we could reopen negotiations with them, but
don't want to ruin the price deal, you know, it's not.
The city would be better off having the bill be slightly higher, but the city only getting charged for what we collect.
right. I'll look at that, but I want to see what the discrepancy in the numbers are too, because what they send me and what you're collecting are not the same, so. Maybe everyone's not gonna have a Merry
Because my
Christmas.
understanding is we pay.
I don't think
So
$2 is gonna kill
Average
him.
households times this
Right.
number minus our fees, what we give them.
Right. It's still, no matter what, it's still a good deal, and it's always an ask, you know, it's if they'll go for it. I mean, we can sit down with them. You just sit down with a map and see what we can work out there. I had a meeting with them. They said they'd be glad to meet with anyone from council. Let's see here. Health Department merger finalized December 8th, signed, sealed, delivered. Which saves everyone it saves the general fund over 200,000 a year for 10 years. I'm glad negotiating is over and everything's done. There is going to be some reporting that we're going to have to do from this year that will be flow into next year. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to work that process out. Citations, possibly on a downtown building, for not testing or maintaining a sprinkler system. It's probably, you're going to hear about it, and that's, the fire code is actually based on the Ohio Administrative Code. So that is probably not the only property that we are going to go after. Another property is not downtown. It's not in compliance, so you'll hear more about that at some point. Need an appointment approval for Daryl Lee to go on the Port Authority Board.
We'll do that in council.
And we'll do the official, at council. I have a meeting scheduled for early January with representatives from Congressman Troy Balderson's office. And if any of you guys want to be there, it's going to be probably the 4th or the 11th. I'll let you know if anyone wants to attend that. You're
What's
more
that
than
about?
just
And then-
just getting to know. Getting my wish list.
Let me know.
Okay. And I was out at Buckeye Fabric Finishing today. They celebrated 100 years. It's pretty exciting. Just to think that anything anywhere lasts 100 years anymore is a pretty awesome thing. So we surprised Kevin Lee. It was cool. Any questions?
Done already?
Thank God.
We're finished.
Oh, hold on. One more thing. The most important thing, how come I didn't bring that up? I provided President Hilgenberg with our community entertainment district proposal by email. Basically what it does is based on investment, it adds liquor licensure for the district, which will be the Dora district right now. So from 7th Street to 2nd, all the way to Water actually, and then all the way through Roscoe Barbecue Company has triggered this. So based on investment, we will open up more licensure in the future for possible for more development. So
Laney, you're gonna go over this in council with us?
yeah, and to me,
You ready for him to go now?
yeah, he can, yeah, and so
Are you finished?
basically,
I mean, I'll let
my
you-
part is done. So what you'll hear,
Right.
you can listen to Lanny, and Abby at SPP will guide council through the process.
Gotcha.
So my part was the easy part. Here you go.
Yeah.
It's in your inbox.
All right, Lanny.
worried Mark wasn't going to mention it. I'm on vacation today, so that's how important this is.
What else is
Yeah,
new?
so the community entertainment district is gonna mirror the Dora district, but when you hear entertainment district, we're not talking casinos or anything like that. It's a district that's a historic district, has drinking establishments, restaurants, museums, the performing arts. You really have to check all those boxes to be eligible for such a thing, and we do for a population of our size. What it effectively does is it raises the cap where we get 15 extra liquor permits. Now, with the Dora, we passed it. It's been an enormous economic tool. This will be as well. But think outside the box just a little bit. We're not just talking bars with these liquor permits. Of the 7 or 8 people that have expressed interest already in getting a liquor permit, about half of those are retail establishments. Also, nonprofits can apply for those too, like, for example, Clary or the museum if they would want to, because right now, if you're a nonprofit and you get a special liquor license, you can only do that every 90 days. So nonprofits that have their own liquor license, they could have more events to help fundraise for themselves. So it goes beyond just what you think in terms of entertainment.
Could that include the park, Lanny?
It's, well, the part that would be in the Dora.
Lake Park is?
No, the cutoff
what I'm
is the
talking about. That's
barbecue
what I thought.
company. Yeah. But, there are a few projects being discussed along the river. Locally, we can expand the Dora as well. And then the CED, the Community Entertainment District, would work the same way. So we're just going to start with the map that we have now. We want to do it sooner than later, so we can all have beer at the barbecue. But it really is important to them, especially during the winter months, to be able to get that license. This is an economic decision that triggered this. I just want to go over the process though with council real quick. So Mark has received the application and you've emailed that. So within 30 days of receipt, the mayor shall submit the application. He's done that. Within to the legislative authority of the municipal corporation. Within 30 days of receiving that, the application from the mayor of the legislative authority, you all will publish a public notice for 2 consecutive weeks in 1 newspaper of general circulation within the municipality. Ensure the notice states that the application is on file in the office of the clerk of the municipal corporation or fiscal officer of the township and is available for inspection by the public during regular business hours. Same thing as Dora. Which if you could get that in this week, you could probably consider it at the first meeting in January then, because that's on the 9th, right? We've got 3 weeks. Indicate in the notice the date and time of any public hearing it will hold regarding the application. If it's a township application, that's the follow the same process that's not applicable here. So within 75 days after the application is filed with either the mayor, the municipal corporation, or the township trustees, the legislative authority must, by affirmative majority vote through either an ordinance or resolution as applicable, approve or disapprove the application. The decision should be based on whether the proposed CED does or will substantially contribute to the entertainment, retail, educational, sporting, social, cultural, or arts opportunity for the community. So when we do hearings, I'm happy to come back and address that. And you're always free. I think you all have myself. Call me if you have any questions about that.
Excuse me, Lanny, so the public hearings, we have to do them just on the 9th? Or we have to do it for?
Well, if you pass by emergency, I would do it in one go. Is that how that works usually? Because it says by ordinance or resolution, so that's.
I
up to
talked
you
to
all.
Abby about public hearing, and it doesn't say that you have to. I think it's just a good thing to have public, like we've done in the past, like 6:45 before a meeting or
Right.
We have to have
whenever.
2,
Right.
correct?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah,
Does it say
Have
2?
2 public
Does it
hearings.
say 2 public?
No, I
hearings?
think it's published in the
No.
paper
Public
twice.
notices.
Oh,
just so
two,
people can
two,
come and
right. It's
review
just like the
document,
door
yeah.
was, you just have to have everything set up and timing, whatever the timing works. But I believe there's no public hearing requirement, but I believe we should probably at least say we're having one.
I
And
would
we
do-
could do it that night and then
And vote on it in the same
Yeah.
night. Yeah, that checks out legally.
You got a proposed ordinance?
We will. I'm sure that there's draft. You want to see the draft? Yeah, it's
But if, starting this week, if we can get that in, as far as the notice, we'll check that box that we have to the state. One more thing, it's administered through the Department of Commerce, so it's not like we get the 15 permits and, pass them out. You still have to go through that same process. The permit's called a DJ5 though, and it actually supersedes all other permits. So even people that have smaller permits right now, they get a heck of an upgrade if they would go for that. But yeah, it goes beyond bars and restaurants. It's nonprofits, it's the arts, everything can benefit. And I think we've all, seen what Dora can do in terms of the economy, the local economy, as far as bringing dollars in. So, but yeah, Roscoe Barbecue submitted the application. They really want one, but they're not the only ones out there that they've been on the waiting list for years. So.
Does that include a Sunday sale? So if there's, let's say there's an establishment right now that cannot sell liquor on Sunday, if they would get the new license, would that include Sunday liquor?
I thought that Sunday sales almost always have to go to the ballot. That's my understanding.
All right,
Based on my familiarity with liquor laws. All I know is I'm at least 21 and it's okay. So, but I don't know.
Were you
that
always
for a
21?
fact.
Yeah.
Sunday sale would have to go to the ballot, so.
thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Thanks, Lynn.
So, thank you. Merry Christmas.
So I want to go back to the trash so I can clarify that. So there's no, like, the mayor lied. to
That's not
me,
what you
'cause-
told us.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the contract, it's set at 1664. The 3-year extension is set at 1835 when we signed the contract.
So that 3-year extension number was established with our previous
With that
contract.
previous contract, and then it went up
24
24
cents.
cents due to regulatory fees. So everyone will pay $1.95 more, which is still,
Yeah.
with what's happened in the world.
That's right, in the contract, the fees go up.
Right,
Based
the
on
fees
other
go up, right,
control.
if the fees, if governmental fees go up, we pay the fees, and that's what the 24 cents is, so. It's still under $2 a month, so I consider that a pretty decent Christmas gift.
Not as good as your initial.
Right, not as good as the first one, but
Yeah.
I'm glad my phone's down in my office.
Max?
I really can't think of too much that Mark has talked about. We did complete week pickup last week, which Kevin Shire said that's the first time we've been done before Christmas for in his tenure, so. And we did lose about a week when the machine broke down, but we was able to get you over now. So we really didn't get anything much like complaints. Now, if somebody does have a pile that we missed, they can always call in. I'd like to get the machine put away so it doesn't freeze and break anything, so. We're working on potholes like we always do this time. There's some cold mix. Got several thank yous from people. That's what we do. It's always nice to hear that. Talk about trash, so. You guys got questions on something? Still working with, we're talking to the sheriff a couple times a week on the property code deal. what we're doing. So I never had a meeting about that. Yeah, Harrison said they come to, they want to come. Sit down with us and have a meeting. Well, right now, as I believe the gentleman that signed the bid sheets also doing the school. So, we don't want to leave the school without anybody, obviously.
So is it still open for, let's say there's an outsider that wants to apply, is that still available to them since it hadn't been filled yet?
I mean, if we can't find a actual deputy or somebody that carries that.
So if I'm a law enforcement officer in Timbuktu and I want to apply for this job, is it, I could still do
Yeah,
that?
I mean, if you can be commissioned, I mean, I prefer, just makes the whole process easier if you're a commissioned officer, yeah, most definitely, but then they're going to have to be commissioned out of Coshocton County is how that would work. I mean, if they're able to be commissioned, most definitely.
If we never get back to that point, we struggled along without somebody with the commission, for several years, which it just wasn't near sufficient. Basically, two people have to do the job of one car code or something like that.
How have we posted it? I mean,
It's been posted internally at the sheriff's office, so I mean, we could post, and we'll meet with them and.
yeah, if there's no action from them, I mean, it might be an attractive position from somebody from a small community
Right.
somewhere that's a commissioned officer.
No, most definitely. I mean, we just need to meet with them and see what's going on.
I'll talk to Garrison about that.
I'm aware of a person from a small community that is a policeman and may be interested. He's Coshoctonian, so.
I mean, that's definitely reach out to me, reach out to the sheriff. You have the sheriff's email? Yeah, just have them email it. Most definitely. And I think the scheduling, I think scheduling can be flexible. We can work around a lot of stuff, so.
Anybody else? Is that it, Max?
Yeah, unless there's questions or somebody mentions something.
Have you, I will ask, have you looked at some of those? Right now, those holes aren't very big, but now we're getting over on
White
White
Woman.
Woman Street. You been down through there?
We're about to get something.
Okay, such a nice street, and once it starts freezing and stuff, it does
Right now, we're stuff the cold mix in.
Right.
That's all there is. But
come right back out.
the way they are, we get it in there good and tight. It might last several years too. So.
Yeah. Anybody else? Dave, you have anything for us?
Nothing additional that we've already talked about. Making good progress in fire hydrants. There was some action at the state level, Max, you may know about additional 250 million for water projects.
Part of the omnibus. So they were recording on 6 o'clock in the morning last Thursday to pass the budget. Set aside $250 million for water and sewer projects. So this the letter today about it. It looks like it might be one of those things like the DOD where we have to go through the county. With the engineers, maybe who's sending in the paperwork. Basically, I talked to Fred this morning. He knew nothing about it, so I sent him what I'd received. And just off the top of my head, things we'd be looking at the Warsaw project. See if we can get any help on that sewer line that we pay on every year for nothing. The ethanol plant, and relief that way. And then, we've been in heavy contact, or been contacted several times about the new industrial park. That's water and sewer. So there could be a possibility. We've got several projects going concurrently. Just will come to fruition. So we got a few small water projects. I know they've started engineering on 192 where we ran the water to the night school up there. There's 14 residents contact us about water going west on 192. Of course, we've always talked about going out and moving it back to the firehouse. The fire department, they have a 2-inch water line feeding that. So there's a lot of new homes, but once again, you gotta get people to sign up. They worth your while. We're not going on a water line that's, somebody signs up for. So
And to put that in perspective, we've got just a crude cost estimate for that line on 192, potential 44 homes. The estimated cost right now is 1.1 million.
we did meet today with Wayne. We're about, the timing has come down a little bit to 7 months. You know, they're kind of, recommending we buy pipe now, set it back, but we just can't do that unless we actually have grant monies in place to pay for the pipe. We're not gonna hang out there, so. One thing we may talk to Mega about is, of course, $1 million. There's probably what, Dave, that Warsaw project's $4 or $5 million worth of pipe, I'm assuming,
I would, yeah.
out of it, so, could we use the Army Corps money to purchase pipe? I don't know that, but I still think we need to get a lot more funding for we. So, but we are down to 7 months, but we just, we talked about that being a 24 project. We won't really know the funding's in place until October of 23. And so, not to play that game.
Right.
But then, they throw the industrial park at us at the same time. Which a lot of that cost will be shared to the people there in the industrial park, where they want all that. AK's made, I'm sorry, it's Cliffs now, I guess, about potable water to their facility as well. So, a lot of excitement around water, but we'll see what kind of, kind of finances out there.
How's the new water meters going?
Had a meeting with the gentleman last week, and they're looking at early next year, try to start throwing a couple more meters at us on delivery, so there may be some light at the end of the day on that.
Or, you get any feedback from meters that you put in? Like, I've had people tell me that their water bill doubled with the new meter.
So
They
I
went from
had,
43 to 90 something.
Yeah.
I had an issue with mine though, like I was set up on a billing and like an automatic billing from my checking account through Invoice Cloud. And when they switched my new meter, it didn't carry over to Invoice Cloud. So like I had like 2 months of bills.
The other thing that we
So now
see-
it's, I got it fixed.
Because that
Yeah.
changes the account number.
She's right on that issue.
Yeah.
And Invoice Cloud, for some reason, we've talked to them 3 times. Automatically, it seems like every month changes everybody to paperless billing, so they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But part of the issue, a lot of these old accounts, and you all need to look at your bills to service date. It could be 2 months behind. So that your bill, let's say we'll go out, we'll get it here to Scott, that service date may be for the water you used 2 months ago. So when we change that meter out to get you on the current monthly cycle, we catch up those 2 months. Now, the next bill should be back to their normal usage.
Right.
But a lot of, and that's probably the most common complaint we hear, wait, my bill changed me to double. You're right for that month, because we're catching up for the 2 months that the guy who originally set up the account didn't pay for.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happened with mine also.
So,
Then
I
it
went
go
up
back-
106 and then, I mean, it's like 106 and then all of a sudden, then it dropped down.
Drop back to
Okay.
normal.
It dropped back to normal.
okay, so have you been in touch with the gentleman on Denman?
Can't, no, not I have, maybe the staff has been, but that's one thing, like I say, look at your own bills who are not on the new, what we call the T accounts, the radio reads. Look at your service dates, you'll see they don't match the bill date. That was one of the other reasons to get it going to these monthly reads, so when we read now, it basically matches the same month that you're getting billed for.
Okay.
So that's, I think, speech 21, we give everybody, because it happens everywhere, well, why did my bill jump, put a new meter in? Well, you were 2 months behind on your billing cycle. And usually we try to explain that to them before we change it. Now, when we change this meter out, you're gonna catch up in 2 months. They don't seem to remember that part of the equation. Wonder why.
And if your meter, it could, I mean, if your meter is that bad.
Right,
it
that's true.
could
Now it's
be-
more of a
Right,
true.
Now, we've seen on the oldest meter, the very oldest we have, they were old, they're about that big. We changed a dozen out of them. Half of them didn't work at all, and the other half are dead nuts on. Because I had Moody check them just to see how they were tracking. So, but there are some of them that did it. The other thing that we see on some of these accounts, we're trying to prioritize accounts that may have been estimated for a year. Yeah, so yeah, the estimate's 300 minimum, so yeah, now if you're using a little more, you get caught up on that too, so.
I don't know. Anybody else have anything for the good of the order?
A quick question, this might be a little premature, but with the Justice Center going in, is there any concern about the traffic pattern down there on Sycamore and Third and Locust and Third?
So by the time it gets done, I should have stop signs on Sycamore and Locust. And the traffic, the parking
The parking,
is
yeah.
probably going to be parallel even with, yeah, so what'll happen is, Locust Street, there will be a line kind of out the length of, parallel parking spot, like up the street, so no one can park kind of in a box.
Right.
And then there'll be a stop sign out in the street. And I don't know, it's probably gonna be the same way on Sycamore.
Okay, I'm just thinking,
The road is really wide.
cruisers going up and down there and you can't really see them coming out
Yes,
of,
yes, it will be,
especially Locust. is the
yeah,
biggest one.
Locust is bad.
Okay,
And yeah,
just curious.
it's on, there's a work order, it's just getting them out.
That's okay, I'd say it's a little premature, maybe, you know. they're not-
Hopefully it doesn't snow at all this winter and we can get everything done.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the weather. Don't tell me about it.
Get ready, right?
Okay, anything else? All right, meet you guys at 7:00. Coshocton City Council meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Andrews. Here. Barcroft.
Here.
Gross.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Mishler.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
Turner. Here.
Stand for the pledge. Stand for the invocation. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we again thank you for this opportunity, for your blessings, the year ahead for the city council and all the city of Coshocton. Again, we thank you again for this council. I pray you guide and direct us in everything we say and do. Amen.
Council, your email the minutes from the November 28th, 2022 council meeting. Any questions or comments?
Make a motion to accept the minutes from November 20th.
Johnson. Call the roll, please.
Andrews. Yes. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner. Yes.
Public input? Okay, I'll just say something about the Coshocton Opportunity School. Last Wednesday, we moved it up a day. We're gonna have dress up Main Street where our students hung trees on the hung coats on the trees on Main Street. They hung up roughly what, Mr. Moore, about 180 coats. Diana McKee did a great job. She added socks. Every year it's gotten bigger and bigger. We have community members that donate money. We go out and buy new coats for infants and hang them down there. And Diana we have a group who knits scarves. And she puts those in with the coats and socks and gloves. So it was pretty well done. I drove down by the next morning. There were only 3 coats left. So it's going off. This is our 3rd year doing it. So I'd like to thank her for all of her hard work and our kids for doing the community service. We had every one of our kids show up, so to help out. What usually takes about 45 minutes. I think it only took us about 20 to get all those hung up. So it's good for the community. And I want to just say thanks to the community and the store owners for allowing us to hang those coats down in front of their businesses. There's no additions or changes. No standing committees, mayor's report.
On that note, I'd like to thank everyone in the community all year that has done something positive to help someone out, especially this time of year. Helping people in need is what we're known for here in Coshocton. Being home of the March of Dimes is something pretty special. So it's who we are. I want to mention my thoughts and prayers are with the Shantz family. Very, very tragic accident last week, and just been thinking about the family. And just want to wish everyone in our community a very Merry Christmas and a very prosperous 2023. So I need to bring up Daryl Lee on that. Okay, and I need Daryl Lee, your blessing to appoint Daryl Lee to the Port Authority Board. Expiring term for Todd Brown. And want to thank Todd for his service. Daryl Lee is a father. He is actually from the Worcester area. Built a house here a couple years ago. He works for Park National Bank, and his expertise is needed as a banker on the Port Authority Board. So just need your blessing. Some of my appointments require council approval and some don't, and he would be one that needs council approval.
Okay, at this time, I'll go ahead and do a roll call for his approval. Clerk, call a roll.
Andrews. Yes. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner. Yes.
Mayor, anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Snow plows are ready.
All right.
Let's just hope it doesn't snow. So want to let people know I'm not a magical snow melter. but we do have people that throw salt on the roads and plow. I know it's not fast enough for anyone, but remember, summer's probably what, 90 days away, 120 days away. So it'll be here. The snow will melt. Sorry if it's not fast enough. Blame me. And that's all. Thank you.
Well, a few days ago, they did a great job. They were out and they did a great job very early, I would say. And
Yeah, we
I
threw
appreciate
some,
that.
yeah, we definitely threw some salt down. Usually the roads start getting bad, the sheriff's office calls us, so it is a team effort. They monitor things, we monitor things. We try our hardest with as little as possible.
Counselor also emailed the mayor's report for the month of November with the general fund, the building permits, new residential alterations, new commercial alterations. Anybody else have any questions or comments for the mayor? None? So, easy. That was Christmas time. Everybody feels sorry for you.
I just got grilled at committee.
Max, you have anything?
Anything more than what we discussed at committee, other than I'll wish all the residents a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. If you guys have questions.
Counselor, law director's report, your email, the law director's report for the month of November. Any questions or comments? Bob, you have anything to add?
I have nothing further.
You? Anybody else? Mr. Moore, you look like you're, no, okay.
Well, that's a good job.
Yeah, great job. Okay, auditor's report. Counselor emailed the November report from the auditor. Have anything to add?
Nothing additional, just needs to be approved in the minutes.
Okay, auditor's report is the detailed check report then and now. Detailed check report and bank report and the trial balance. You've heard the auditor's report.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
More, call the roll.
Andrews, yes. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner. Yes.
Okay, sheriff's report, Counselor emailed the sheriff's report for October, or for November, I'm sorry. City chart, city limits, and the city map. They have any questions, comments? Job out there, like some of the arrests that are going on, run them out, good job. That's it, Public code. Chief Dreyer, you have anything to report?
Nothing, sir, thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll go into legislation. I'll ask the clerk to give the first reading of ordinance 6422.
An ordinance authorizing the service director to enter into an agreement with the Board of County Commissioners for a weights and measure inspector.
For the first reading of ordinance 6422, any questions or comments? Ordinance 6422 will take its course.
Do we want to clean the agenda for the first of the year, or we probably do, don't we?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and give that a third reading.
I'll second.
Okay. For the first reading of ordinance 6422. Any questions or comments? Johnson made a motion. Or seconded. Call the roll.
Andrews. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Clerk, please give the third reading of ordinance 6422.
An ordinance authorizing the service director to enter into an agreement with the Board of County Commissioners for a weights and measure inspector.
Questions or comments? Question is, should ordinance 6422 pass? Clerk, please call the roll.
Andrews. Yes. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
I'll ask the clerk to give the first reading of ordinance 6222.
Transfer.
For the first reading of ordinance 6222, any questions or comments?
Make motion, we suspend the rules and give the reading, or give the third reading to 222.
Second. Call the roll.
Andrews. Yes. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Questions or comments? The question is, should ordinance 6222 pass? Clerk, please call the roll.
Andrews. Yes. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ask the clerk to give the first reading of ordinance 6322.
Appropriation,
For the first reading of ordinance 6322, any questions or comments?
I'll make a motion, we suspend the rules and go directly to the third reading.
Second.
Call the roll.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Clerk, please give the third reading of ordinance 6322.
Appropriation,
Questions? Question is, should ordinance 6322 pass? Clerk, please call the roll.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ordinance 6322 is passed. Second reading. Ask the clerk to give the second reading of ordinance 5122.
An ordinance establishing the wage for the position of assistant income tax administrator / auditor clerk.
Heard the second reading of ordinance 5122.
Make a motion, to suspend the rules and go to the third reading. I'll second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Andrews. Yes. Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ask the clerk to give the third reading of ordinance 5122.
An ordinance establishing the wage for the position of assistant income tax administrator auditor clerk.
Question is, should ordinance 5122 pass? Clerk, please call the roll.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ordinance 5122.
Mr. President, I guess I would request it before the next meeting. I know it's been this way, so it's going to be on the template, that we correct the spelling of legislation at second reading. I think it's missing a T there. But it's been that way for a while, so I'm not blaming the clerk.
Where you at?
Legislation at second reading, legislation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Legislation, second reading. I'll ask the clerk to give the second reading of ordinance 5322.
An ordinance to appropriate funds for current expenses and other expenditures for the city of Coshocton, state of Ohio for January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
For the second reading of ordinance 5322. Any questions or comments?
Make a motion, to suspend the rules and go to the third reading.
Oh, Senators.
I'll second.
Barcroft. Call the roll, please.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Clerk, please give the third reading of ordinance 5322.
An ordinance to appropriate funds for current expenses and other expenditures for the city of Coshocton, state of Ohio for January 1, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Question is, should ordinance 5322 pass? Call the roll, please.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ordinance 5322 is passed. Ask the clerk to give the second reading of ordinance 5422.
Ordinance approving the addition and inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances of Coshocton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
For the second reading of ordinance 5422.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and give it a third reading.
I'll second that.
Moore. Call the roll, please.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Clerk, please give the third reading of ordinance 5422.
An ordinance approving the addition and inclusion of certain ordinances as parts of the various component codes of the codified ordinances of Coshocton, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Question is, should ordinance 5422 pass? Call the roll, please.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ordinance 5422 is passed. Legislation with a T at the third reading.
An ordinance,
Ask the clerk to give the third reading of ordinance 4822.
an ordinance to amend chapter 1305 of the ordinances of the city of Coshocton.
For the third reading of ordinance 4822. Question is, should ordinance 4822 pass? Call the roll, please.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Ordinance 4822 is passed. There are no resolutions. Old business, no new business. We have a communication.
Pro Town, yes, I have a liquor permit for Pro Town Pizza.
We'll be back on that. Good. Okay, so we're good with that. It's a date time of our next meeting.
January 9th, 5:30.
Okay, committee starts at 5:30, council will be at 7 PM. I need a motion for the meeting to be adjourned.
So move.
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Andrews.
Yes.
Barcroft.
Yes.
Rhodes.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Mishler.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Yeah.